Well, greetings, Cap fans. Welcome to episode 283 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Rick Verbanis. You know me, and you know my co host. He's the best gosh darn one out there. His name is Bob Lucius. Oh, Bob, I am the bloody Pope. I may not know much about art, but I know what I like.
Well, I'm guessing that's Monty Python.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, right. And
yeah.
how apropos.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, it is a quote from I think it's called the intermission sketch. No, it's the penultimate supper. Have you ever seen that sketch where
I don't know if I have.
John Cleese plays the Pope
Uh,
and he brings Michelangelo in to berate him over his painting of the Last Supper because it has 28 disciples, three Christs, and a kangaroo. And it's a funny sketch,
yeah,
but it ends with the Pope saying, I may not know much about art, but I know what I like.
there you have it.
Do you know where
Right.
that quote's from?
Is that the Supreme Court decision? Kind of a play on that?
No, actually, that quote has been around since
Oh,
1906.
okay.
It's attributed to Gillette Burgess, who is an American humorist,
All
and it's
right.
been used many times since then. It's been attributed to Orson Welles, but that's the original one, at least
Interesting.
according to AI.
Yeah. Well, then it must be true. Then it must be true.
Exactly.
I thought it was a play on the Supreme Court decision on the definition of
Profanity,
on obscenity.
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 Right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Can't define it, but I know it when I see it. So
Yeah,
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 it's funny. Very similar to art.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah.
why am I quoting Gillette Burris inspired quote here, Bob?
Well, Rick, you have finally returned from your travels, like Marco Polo himself.
uh
Yeah, Marco.
Polo.
Yeah, there you go. And you're back from OAX.
I am. Yeah. So originally, because normally record these on Tuesday nights, and I was actually stuck in Florida. I know everybody who hears that goes,
Yeah.
"Oh," you know, but it actually was a pain in the butt. But yeah, I was stuck in Florida. I was all ready to have our recording from my phone in my
Right.
hotel room Tuesday
Right.
night, but I got
Yeah.
lucky and returned.
Yeah,
So
that
here
was
we are.
and we were in third winter down here, so it wasn't like you were hanging out at the pool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Um, maybe I should get into that.
Yeah.
Should we talk about my little trek to
Yeah,
OAX?
I want to hear all about it because I haven't had a chance to talk to you since you have returned. And but maybe we should walk the listeners through because I think maybe a lot of folks aren't familiar with OAX. Maybe tell them a little bit about what it is and what you do there.
Yeah, sure. So OAX stands for Original Art Expo, and this was the brainchild of Bill Cox and Kasra Gambari, and they're part of the Comic Art Fans website, and this was like kind of like a natural progression into an annual event. This is actually the third one. It takes place in Orlando, Florida, and I've been to all three, and it's been great. So what is the purpose of an original art expo? Because you've been to comic book conventions, right? And
Yeah.
and there are some booths there that they actually sell art. But it really is its own niche. It really is its own um, audience, and it's growing and it continues to grow. I started collecting original art. When I say that, I don't mean getting sketches in my sketchbook. Right, I've been doing that for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, getting published art.
Hmm.
And so, back in 2017, when I completed my Captain America comic book collection, meaning I had Captain America 100 to now, and then I was
Hmm.
like, oh, I'll get Tales of Suspense 58 through 99, and then I was like, now what? And I had choice, Bob. I could
Medusa
go.
effect. You had to get the Medusa effect one shot.
I did thanks
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Uh, so I could have made a choice. I could have gone Golden Age Cap Comics,
Yeah.
which you obviously are a fan of, and
Yeah.
when we see your background and so on. but it's not my thing. It's just
Yeah.
not my thing. So I decided to go collecting original art, which is, you know, like Golden Age, it's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
And so you can't get a whole lot of it. So you have to be very picky and choosy. At least I try to be.
Yeah.
And so in 2017, I picked up my first original art piece, published art piece. It was, and I still have it. It is a Mike Zeck panel page of from the Deathlock Lives story,
Hmm.
and it was that was the first story that I ever picked up with my own money
Yeah.
back in 1983, and so that story holds a very dear place in my heart. So to get a
Yeah.
page from it was like wow, and that really started my whole journey towards original art. So this expo is devoted to that, and it is. And it's kind of expanded too. It's not just comic book art, but it's expanded into trading card art and like Magic the Gathering art,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
um,
Yeah. Very
you know,
popular hobby. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's really expanded, and I highly recommend for anyone who has an interest in that as well. This particular one had, I think they said, over 90 artists at the show,
Okay.
and so these artists obviously do commissions. Most of them do, and you can order them ahead of time, or you can take your luck and get there and get on their list real early in the morning and
Uh-huh.
try to get sketches or whatever the case may be. And they range anywhere from a quick little head sketch or something like that, and um uh to like painted commissions, like
Yeah. Yeah.
talking mega bucks. And they had some huge names there, right? I mean, they
Hmm.
had, um, gosh, I'm drawing a blank, but now Adam Kubert, um, John Romita Jr., Alan Davis, Adam Hughes, I mean, Walt Simonson,
Hmm.
I mean, like just huge names. And then you have a bunch of new artists as well, that are
Yeah.
making into the business and maybe have only been around for a few years. So anywhere along the gambit. So if you enjoy art, if you enjoy sketches, if you enjoy getting published art, if you enjoy hanging out and meeting artists and just chatting with them, like it really is a wonderful
Hmm.
opportunity.
Yeah. So how many folks generally attend? Is it really like crowded?
No, no, I mean it gets a little busier every year,
Yeah. And it's
but
a few days, right? It's
yeah,
it's
it's nothing like a New York Comic Con or a
yeah.
San Diego Comic Con where you're shoulder to shoulder people. No, it is. You're talking. Um, it's a casual atmosphere.
Hmm.
Um, so um, so that's what OAX is all about.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, what was your favorite part of the whole thing?
Um, well, before I get into that,
Yeah.
I will say it. I'll paint a little picture of what happened.
All right. Yeah.
Right. So Um, the show is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show. And when I say
Yeah.
Friday, it's like Friday late afternoon.
Hmm.
And they have different levels, right? And you could pay extra for the VIP level. So in the VIP level, on Friday there's a preview and so on. So I got in there Friday afternoon. I'm at the hotel by 3 o'clock. I had a little
Yeah.
time to kill before the show started, and I'm supposed to fly out Sunday at 6 p.m., getting me home at 9 p.m. My wife was going to pick me up at the airport.
Yeah.
Well, there was a blizzard that happened along the East Coast,
Right.
and my area, which I was supposed to fly into Newark, New Jersey, got dumped with 2 feet of snow. Right,
Yeah.
so I found out on Saturday evening that my Sunday flight was canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, so they put me on a Monday 11 a.m. flight. Not the end of the world. Now, I should point out, I was supposed to start a new role at my company on Monday.
Ouch. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a new role that I'm doing, and so that was supposed to be the first day. So that wasn't ideal. All right. Then on Sunday, I found out that the Monday flight was canceled, and I'm trying to get through to the airline, and I can't via phone or text or
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
And they put me on Thursday night, 8:40 p.m.
Ow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting me in at like 11:30 at night on Thursday
Mm,
night. So all of a
dang.
sudden it went
Yeah.
from a Sunday night to Thursday night.
Yeah.
Again, oh, you're stuck in Florida. Well, no, I wasn't like I was going to go to any of the parks, and kill time.
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't bring my work laptop because
Yeah.
who does that for a 2-day weekend away? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do that. I did bring my work cell phone
Yeah.
because I was like, all right, I'll check some email while I'm, there. So then I'm like envisioning myself like I'm going to be for 4 days on my work cell phone. Now I'm probably showing my age here, Bob. I do not like handling work on my phone.
Hey, I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife does it all the time and I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one thing to dial into a call and you're
Right.
certainly not going to see anything, right?
Yeah. Right.
Um, but the other thing too is like the emails are all nested and
Yeah.
it's, and by the way, at this point I
Yeah.
have over 300 unopened emails.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay. So it's just crazy. Um, so I want to say, and I'm going to give out several shout outs in a little bit, but because the expression kindness of strangers, and these aren't strangers; these are people I've known, but some not as well as others, and all of a sudden I'm in a situation where, I'm supposed to check out of the hotel Monday morning,
Right.
and I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to get a room because, well, guess what? There are people still coming into Orlando. And
Yeah.
so, the hotel's sold out. And quite frankly, it was, an expensive hotel. So
Yeah.
um, I was like, all right, well, what am I going to do Sunday night? And Alberto Gonzalez,
Yeah.
right? Patron of the
Yeah.
show. He's
Right.
been on
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
When he found out Saturday night was going on, he goes, hey, Rick, he says, I actually have a room Sunday night that I'm not using. I'm checking out at 5, but I used my points, so I have Sunday night. If you want to use the room, you can use it.
Hmm.
And I was like, thank you. I will take you up
That's
on that.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
I had a room Sunday night. So shout out to Alberto for that. Um, then the next day I was like, okay, well, where do I go? I got to check out Monday now. Where do I go? And now I want to give a shout out to Jeff Dunn. So Jeff Dunn is a guy who I'm also very friendly with, and um, he super nice. He works for a different hotel chain, and he's like, "Hey, I can get you, a good rate at, and help you find a room,
Hmm.
near the airport." So I was like, sign me up for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Jeff's an awesome guy. He actually, on the side, he works for 4C Comics, and they do. If you ever go to a comic show, they're usually set up there. They have guests come and do signings, like Bill Morrison from The Simpsons, things like
Hmm.
that. So shout out to Jeff and 4C Comics. So again, the kindness of people,
Yeah.
they see the situation you're in, and they're like, let us, what can I do to help?
That's awesome. I mean, it's you got such a I mean, you've been at this for a while now. You've obviously, built a network of friends and acquaintances, and it just shows like that. I think the close knittedness of that community.
I I agree. It's a great niche community for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Well, and you've cultivated that over many years, and man, in times like that, that's when things like that really show. Let me ask you this: having never been to OAX or I haven't been to a Comic Con in years and years, but this seems very very special. Walk me through what like a day's like. You get up in the morning.
Yeah. So
Walk me
so as
through
I
it.
said, like Friday, they have different types of passes, right? Just like any
Right?
comic
Yeah,
show, right? So you can do a
yeah.
day pass, a weekend pass, and then there's the VIP pass. And the VIP pass, um, because I was going to be there Friday night, I went with that. And so they have like a little preview for 4 to 6 just for the VIPs, and so that way you can kind of get ahead on the
All
lines
right. What
of
does that mean? A preview? You get to like walk the floor or
yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah. And they have
Okay.
several rooms, several
Yeah.
large rooms, right? Depending on your interests. And so not only are the artists there, but all these dealers, art dealers are
Yeah,
there too.
yeah.
So, you get first shot at the stuff they brought. Get first shot at getting on artist lists and things like that. So, I walk that, and then they have a VIP reception, and that goes from like 6 to 9, and they have like a DJ, an open bar, and some snacks. So that was good, and that's always, to me, the best part of going to these show is meeting with people. And then after that was a pub crawl, but it was hosted by the collector slash dealer, art dealer, who goes by Wolvie Fan.
Okay.
So his name is Rob. Nice, really nice guy.
I love the
And
name. Yeah.
so he, because it's a Wolvie Fan, they call it a bub crawl.
Uh-huh.
And so actually that's where I got this t-shirts from. So if
All
you could
right.
see,
Oh yeah.
um, see this t-shirt. So
Yeah.
it has the OA Expo logo, but then the
Yeah.
X is crossed out and then they have like little claw marks,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then it says Bub Crawl. So
Nice.
essentially there was like four bars at the Orlando City Walk.
Yeah.
And so we went to these four different bars. And again, Rob's a really nice guy. And his wife, Maria, she's lovely, had a nice conversation with her. And again, there's like dozens and dozens of these art collectors, and we're all just going bar to bar to
Yeah.
bar to
Watch out,
bar.
ladies. Yeah.
I know, right? Um, and they had a special drink at each one. The last bar was
It's
really
cool.
cool. It was a karaoke bar,
Mhm.
and but it was the best karaoke bar I've ever seen. It actually had a stage with live musicians, right?
Wow.
So we're
Yeah.
talking a drummer, a keyboardist, a bass player, a lead guitar, backup singers, and then another woman who went around and like sang as well. And then you would go up there and you would pick your song, and then you'd have the band and the backup singers, and the backup singers are doing like their moves, and like
Holy
you're like a
cow.
rock star, you
Yeah.
get up there. I didn't get a chance to do it, but a few of our
Hey.
members did, so that was
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
So that's Friday.
All right.
And so Saturday, I don't remember what time the show opens, 10 or something like that. And then, you walk the show all day.
Yeah.
Now Saturday night was
Did you
cool.
did you have a big breakfast, Rick? Oh, did you have a big breakfast, Rick? So,
I
you're
was at
powered for the day?
No. So
No.
I was at a
Okay.
hotel that didn't do the free breakfast.
All
So,
right.
you know,
So they get you. That's how they
uh,
get you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It is. So you know what I would do is I would go up to the counter and I would get the free cookie they give out when you
Oh,
check in,
yeah. Yeah.
and be like, that
Yeah.
was my breakfast because that's
Right.
310 calories right there.
Yeah. Casey and I once went to this exclusive resort that was founded by Luciano Pavarotti on this
Mm.
island off the coast of Malaysia. And breakfast wasn't included. It was super expensive. So what we did day after day is we take turns like going and saying, getting breakfast and then saying, oh, my husband or my wife's super sick. Can I just pick up? Because it was like, you couldn't take stuff off the buffet.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, but we just, oh, he's really, really sick. Can I just take a muffin and some eggs and
Hmm.
hash browns, and like just, but we'd switch off every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do,
You got to
right?
survive, man. Yeah.
Because I was there an extra 48 hours, so those are all those meals I had to pay for,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
did have to pay. I ended up actually paying for Tuesday night hotel, even though I checked out, but I will get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, because being there, I mean, I probably spent an extra $400 just
Right.
being
Yeah.
there the extra 2 days,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway, Saturday night they had this really cool thing, Bob, where they launched this new awards ceremony that was dedicated to Jack and his wife Roz Kirby.
Okay.
And so they're called the Jack and Roz Kirby Awards, and it was the launch of that, and it was really nice because they got up and they had like family members of the Kirby up there to kind of
Yeah.
talk about, and they had I'm not going to do it justice, but uh, it's like an awards show, right? Like
Yeah.
here are the categories, right? And then they would have the award winner go up there. So you
Yeah.
had some people who were actually there and got the award and they were surprised. And then you had some people who were told ahead of time, like a Bill Sienkiewicz or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
who got an award and they'd send a video in. So that was really fun. And then
Yeah.
after that, there was a an auction where went some of it went to charity.
Yeah.
And so you had all these different pieces that artists had donated, and
Hmm.
so it was, and that had an open bar because, of course,
Yeah. That helps the auction.
that helps the auction,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and yeah, they had a buffet and open bar, so we did that Saturday night, and then there's a local bar that's like a 3-minute walk, if that,
Yeah.
near to the hotel that everybody goes to, and then closes that down. And then Sunday, again, art show, and
Well,
then
hold on, though. Back up
yeah,
though,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you got up from Saturday morning. Art show starts at 10, and then you're at the award ceremony.
yeah,
Like, tell
yeah.
me, like, what's it like during the day? Did you just wander around, or did you have a strategy? Did you have like a list of these are the booths I want to visit, or like how did
Yeah.
that play out?
Well, so I have my eye on a couple of things after OAX with some
Yeah,
auctions coming up. So I wanted to be good. I didn't want to spend a lot of money because
yeah.
just in case I get lucky on these other auctions. So I had a couple things in mind. I had lined up 4 commissions ahead of time.
All right.
And I've got them here if you want to see
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I'd love to see them.
So these are some commissions I lined up ahead of time, and then also when I got there, I asked for I got 2 more commissions. One's in the mail, and one I got there, and then I picked up one published page, which I'll get to, and I made a trade for page. So you want to see them?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, lay it on me.
So one of the things I lined up ahead of time is Terry Dotson. So I'm doing these
Yes, I do.
Viper, Madam Hydra,
Yeah.
right? Commissions, and so Terry draws a beautiful woman. So luckily, I got on his list, and he drew this 3/4 piece. So if
Nice.
you're on YouTube or if you're on Spotify, you can see the video.
Yeah, very
But
cool.
yeah, so Terry did a nice job. He's a nice
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
He also did a little head sketch for me. I'll show you in a minute. I also signed up for this John Romita Jr.
yeah,
Meet and greet, and you get a sketch, a pencil sketch from that, and it had a list of characters that you could pick from, and
yeah.
Cap wasn't on there.
What?
So I asked, please,
Yeah.
please, please, can you do me Captain America? And he did.
Oh,
So
man.
so here's the John Romita Jr.
Very cool. Very
Captain
cool.
America.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
love it.
he's a super nice guy as well. He's a talker.
Is he really?
Yeah, I would love to have him on the show. Another commission I did ahead of time. Now, I mentioned my first Captain America story was Deathlock Lives. So
Right. Yeah.
I wanted this artist. His name is Mannix Abrera.
Uh-huh.
And so if you're not familiar with Mannix, he is from the Philippines, and he's a freelance cartoonist, and he's the creator of this uh, Kilo Machine Comics, and it's Kilo Machine with the K, comics with the K. It's a long running daily strip in the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Hmm.
So but he does commissions, and he does they're just psychedelic, outlandish type of thing, and he has his own really cool style. And I
Yes.
thought his style would do well with a Captain America 286 homage. And
Okay.
here is a painted commission from him.
Very fun.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun,
It
right?
pops too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually when he gave this to me, he twice said, "And this is my favorite red." So I guess he uses different type, and if you saw this in person, it's kind of like a night light. What do they call this? Night kind
Right.
of
Yeah. Yeah. Blacklight posters.
blacklight. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The published page I got, and I'm very excited about this, is Paulo Rivera um, page from the Mythos Captain America.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And this is why this was important to me, was because I have the page before it and the
Yeah.
2 pages after it.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
I have all four, and I'm going to get them framed together
Yeah.
to make a
Nice.
nice little thing here. And
Yeah.
this was Paulo's favorite page one of his favorite pages, I should say, from the book, and he held on to it for the longest time because of all the detail, especially that bottom panel,
Yeah.
all the detail that he put into this,
Right. Yeah.
and he was very excited so that when the Captain America: First Avenger movie came out, they took elements from that
Yeah.
and put it into the set.
Very
So
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited to get that. And then and also just a shout out to Paolo. Nice chatting with him, and he was
Great guy.
very flexible as well. So just yeah, love Paolo. And then the last published page I got, this was something I've been after for a couple of years, and on my list is I'm trying to build a collection of Mike Zeck's official handbook of the Marvel Universe
Right.
Cap
Yeah.
related pieces. I
Yeah.
have Cap, I have Red
Red
Skull, and I
Skull.
have
Yeah.
Baron Zemo.
Yeah.
So I finally made a trade with Michael Lovitz. Shout out to Michael
Yeah.
for Modoc,
Nice.
and this is just a wonderful piece.
Yeah.
The amount of detail, and then of course Joe Rubenstein inking, and did an excellent job inking this. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is I currently have Red Skull, Cap, and Baron Zemo together framed.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the framer later today, ask them to take Cap out and put the Modoc in there. So I'll have the
Yeah.
three villains all framed
Right.
together, and then I'll have
Yeah.
Cap framed separately.
Whew, you got any bigger house, Rick?
I
More wall
know.
space, you
I
know?
know. I
This
know.
is getting tough. Wow, that's so what of all those, what's the favorite thing that you picked up? I mean, what really like is it
I
one
don't know.
thing above all? I mean, they're all pretty sweet.
The favorite might be the one I haven't gotten yet. I'm waiting in the mail. It wasn't ready when I went there to pick up, and that is an Adam Hughes
Mm,
commission. And if it's anything like the one he did last year for me for Madam Hydra,
yeah.
I'm most excited to see that.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what it's going to look like,
Yep.
but I will definitely share it on the Facebook group with everybody so
Can't
when they get a chance
can't
to see it.
can't wait. So I know another reason you like to go to OAX is it's an opportunity to chat up some artists and maybe get some guests for the show. So were you able to line up anybody?
I can't say yet.
Yeah.
Um, I did I did get five yeses.
So you're saying there's still a chance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I got
Good.
five artists to say yes. Four of which I had never asked before, and they all said yes. And then another one who I'd asked previously, and he said yes at that time, and I reminded him, and he's like, "Yeah, I definitely still want to do the show." So of those five, listen, if we get two or three, I'll be happy. And
Right. Yeah.
a couple of them are some pretty big names.
Nice. Well done. Well done, Rick. Well done. So, well, it sounds like despite the delays, the extra costs, this was a worthwhile journey for you.
Yeah, I will say that my favorite part of attending is meeting fellow collectors.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm hugely deficient when it comes to remembering people's names. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
just a
I got that.
it
Yeah.
is if I could change anything about myself, that'd be one of them. Is just it's a deficient, and I try all these different tricks to remember people's
Yeah.
names,
Hmm.
and I'm just so bad at it, and I feel bad because there's I talk with so many people, and I won't be able to mention them all here,
Yeah.
because there were so many, and also because I'm so bad with names. But just a few shout outs. So I just wanted to shout out, to Carl, to Tom, to Dan, Fish, James, George, Jeff, Larry, Robert, Michael, the other Michael. Um, these are all
Yeah.
some
And
guys that I've.
Alberto, apparently.
Well, I want to get to
Yeah.
that in a second.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But there's um, uh, a guy by the name of Mikhail Lotia, I think is how you pronounce his last name. But Mikhail is he started a private messenger group a couple of years ago for people who attending OAX. So it's really been nice chatting with these people and sharing info, with fellow collectors.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm I'm an introvert. I don't like
Hmm.
going into crowds. I find it uncomfortable. Force myself to do it. So I like the one-on-one stuff better. So
Hmm.
I had a nice lunch, just the two of us with Tariq Arshad, and great, just chatting with Tariq. So shout out to him. I had a dinner just one-on-one with Jeff Dunn, the guy I mentioned from 4C Comics. These are the things I enjoy the most. But I also want to give a shout out to a couple other people. So you
Yeah.
mentioned Alberto. Yes.
Right.
We actually exchanged gifts. So I
Oh,
brought him
nice.
a what we do challenge coin and some stickers and things like that.
Yeah.
He was very thoughtful, and he got me this Dynamic Forces sketch cover, which is
Nice.
from a Patrick. What's his name? Patrick uh, Giles or Giles. Giles.
Yeah.
He's a trading card artist, and so this is a nice little
That
homage
is
to
cool.
Emmett gives. So,
Yeah.
so shout out to Alberto. Also Tom McDonald. He uh, he gave me a T-shirt with a Mannix Abrera um, commission that he did last year of Dead Man, and so I
Yeah.
have a black T-shirt that came in handy because I only packed clothes for 2 days. Um,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Ian Saint, he gave out candy that came in handy
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was running out of food.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So anyway, that's the best part of the show is getting to hang out with fellow collectors.
Yeah. Well, cool. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you had a great time. It sounds like an amazing experience and it maybe recharge your batteries a little bit. I know both of us have been working hard at our jobs, and sometimes you just need a little time to step away and, immerse yourself in something that brings you joy. So I'm glad you had that opportunity despite the delays.
Yeah, and my final thing I'll say on the show is just again a shout out to Bill at Casra for organizing and running the show, and Tatiana Dykes for directing the events, and for Maureen Cox and all the volunteers. You guys put on a fantastic show, and for those who are interested, the next one is March 19th through the 21st. So that is a year from now, but you can always get your tickets ahead and book your travel. So it's weird saying 2027, but
It is, yeah.
yeah, it'll be here before you know it.
Pushing it a little bit later too. Where didn't it start like in January and
It
then
did. Yeah.
seems to be getting a little bit later? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'll go to the one next year. I'm
Hmm.
not sure because now that it's in March, it's usually goes around the time that my wife and I go on vacation. So I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
sure if it'll work out, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
That seems like a dreamy vacation spot.
Hmm. I'm sure my wife will say have an opinion on that.
Yeah, she might. She might
So, Bob,
indeed.
I feel like I've been doing enough talking. So, let's.
Yeah.
One of the things that we wanted to talk about also in this episode is that coming up this Sunday, which is March 22nd, um, we will be kicking off our next March Madness bracket. So, we've been doing this bracket, since 2021, I want to say. Um, so, this will be one, two. One, two, three, four, five, six. This will be our sixth bracket, and we've had all kinds of fun topics. Right? We treat it like a March Madness bracket, and we get 32 things competing, and every day we kind of vote on it. And first year we did, I think it was favorite artist, and um, then the second year was favorite Captain America cover. The third year was favorite Captain America writer. Fourth year was we went. Um, did we go? No. Fourth year we did favorite Captain America co-star. So we had allies versus foes, and then now we're going to do favorite Captain America stories. So if you are part of our Facebook group, and if not, you need to be. Really, you should.
Yeah.
We put out there 30 plus different Captain America stories for everybody to kind of vote on, and then add any of their own. So we haven't done that yet, so I don't really
Yeah.
know, the brackets and everything. But we do have an idea of the 30 plus stories that we kind of threw out there. And then people vote on that, and then that's how they get seeded, right? So
Right.
the
Yeah.
one with the most votes gets is the number 1 seed, the least votes is 32 seed. And so that's what's kicking off this Sunday. So if you go to our Facebook group at noon Eastern time, you can vote for which is your favorite Captain America story, and it'll be number 1 seed versus number 32 seed. Monday, the 23rd, it'll be 2 versus 31. Tuesday, it'll be 3rd versus 30, and so on. And we'll do that for the first round. And then we'll get to the Sweet 16, and we'll kick that off April 8th. And then we'll get to the final, the Elite Eight, and we'll kick that off April 17th. Then we'll get to the final four, April 22nd, and then it'll come down to the last two favorite stories, which we will do on Saturday, April 25th. So this runs a month, and you have the opportunity in the Facebook group every day at noon Eastern to go in there and vote for your favorite. And I just want to say this, Bob. It's your favorite. It's not the best.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we don't. There's no strong takes, right? It's just friendly conversation
We're not
of like,
literary critics,
yeah,
right? Yeah. Right. We're not like assigning a Pulitzer here for literature, right? This is favorites, right? Whatever rings your bell.
yeah. So speaking of that, Bob, um, of the 30 plus stories that I threw out there, were there any that rang your bell?
Well, I have certain criteria that I like in a story, Rick, right? So, I mean, I look for things that I like something, quite honestly, that anybody can jump into, right? So you don't have to know too much about what came before. So that's something I like, and I like something with a bit of a moral lesson, right? I always look for that, and I truly love things with like Easter eggs, so things that are callback, maybe flashbacks. I mean, we recently went over the Civil War casualty, the Civil War. What was it? Gosh, what
Oh,
was it?
Casualties of War.
Yeah, Casualties of War with
Yeah.
Christos Gage, right? Had a lot of flashback scenes in that, right? So I like those sorts of things. So I got to tell you, I'm really pulling. I think there's a few maybe story arcs that I really really like. I like the miniseries, Mark Waid miniseries, The Man Out of Time, because it's
Definitely.
digestible for a lot of folks. They can jump in, read that thing, and get a real sense of who Steve Rogers and Captain America is. So that's going to be high on my list. But there's other things I like too. I mean, I love the New Deal by John Nay Reber.
Yeah,
From
and
I think
John
volume
Cassidy.
yeah from volume 4, right? It's I think it's what 6 issues, and but it is a post 9/11 story, so there's a lot of depth in that story. I know that gets overlooked by a lot of folks, but I think it could be a strong contender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I think you named some good ones. I'm a big Mark Waid fan, so
yeah.
definitely the Man at a Time. I probably, if I had to vote today and it was Man Out of Time versus his Volume 1 work, I
Mm-hmm.
probably would go with Volume 1. So that would be
Yeah.
Operation Rebirth, which was, him
Okay.
and Ron Garney
Yeah.
doing, and it's in 1995, right? So
Yeah.
that was the first 4 or 5 issues of that run. And I just, that was, the whole Sharon Carter's back,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so that's the other thing too. Like, do these stories have any lasting impact, right?
Yeah.
So bringing back Sharon Carter,
Yeah.
huge impact, and
Huge
she
impact.
had been gone, I don't know what, 16 years at this point.
Yeah.
So that, and then followed up with the Man Without a Country,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
ends volume 1, and that was a great story because it goes back to that. All right, strip Steve Rogers of Captain America. Who is he?
Right. And
And
his country.
right,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So those two,
Yeah.
I love as well.
Yeah. And I think, come on, obviously hero or hoax is going to be a contender, right? That
Oh
Steve
yeah,
Englehart
yeah.
story, the 1950s Cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
153 to 156, absolutely a contender, because it's one of those stories like Man Without a Country that it challenges the reader to think about what is it that Steve Rogers and Captain America stands for? I mean, what is he really about, right? And there's a number of story arcs. Obviously the Nomad, right?
Well, can
And
we talk about hero or hoax?
yeah,
Because
let's do it.
I think that's going to be that's probably going to make the Elite Eight. I'm
I would
guessing,
imagine
if
so.
not the
Yeah,
Final Four.
yeah.
And I think, I mean, listen, we had the writer on the show, Steve
Mm-hmm.
Englehart, right? And we talked about it and with him and in depth. So if you want to check out that interview, that I don't remember what episode that was, but um, the thing about that, and again, I go back to lasting impact too, right? That
Yeah,
story had lasting impact because it answered that question of, well, wait a minute, Cap, Stan Lee is saying Cap went down and was frozen in the ice and he was just brought back, but so what about these stories that happened, during the 50s and everything after the war?
yeah,
We can't. How do you explain that? Well,
yeah.
Steve Englehart explained it, so that had, I think, really lasting impact.
Right. And we had a character that keeps popping up again and again and again in the guise of William Burnside.
And Jack Monroe.
And Jack Monroe, right? So two great characters that have had an enduring, impact. And quite on for a lot of us fans, I mean, I love the William Burnside stories, and of course, I love
Hmm.
Jack Monroe stories. He's had a much more profound role, I think, in the mythos than Burnside. But Burnside is just such an interesting, quirky character. So, yeah, I think that's going to definitely land in the top 8 for sure. And I think a lot of readers, when we think about story arcs, we often focus obviously on the main run of Captain America, but there's all those like Man Out of Time, those mini
Hmm.
series out there or one shots. So, you think about Captain America White, for instance, right?
Yeah, yeah. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's such a
Hmm.
fun story. And I suspect there's a lot of I like doing these sorts of things. I think this is such a great March Madness because I think it's going to expose a lot of folks to storylines that maybe they haven't read before, including a lot of those one shots and miniseries that maybe they never picked up or maybe haven't even heard about. So
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Bicentennial Battles, right? I mean, they recently re-released that. Was that like 2 years ago? I think they came out with a facsimile edition to that, and I think a lot of folks picked that up. New readers came to appreciate that story, which is again kind of a funny walk through what it means for America to be America through time with Steve Rogers. So and that's going to be particular. That might rise simply because of this year being the 250th anniversary of,
Mm,
of our founding. So that
yeah,
might be
could
a
be.
fan sentimental favorite
Yeah, or Mad Bomb, right? Because we're covering that right now.
or Mad Bomb. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of these stories we have covered already
Yeah.
in this series. I mean, we've been doing this for 5.5 years almost. So we've covered a lot of these, including we are doing Mad Bomb right now, as far as leading up to uh, uh, issue or episode 190 or 299, I think. Oh gosh, I don't know.
That's
But
right.
we yeah, we're covering that. And that's the other thing too. I think, and I know I've heard listeners say this as well. By us going back and redoing these stories, you know, after reading them the first time, and sometimes this is years or decades later that we go back
Yeah.
and revisit them, and we have a different look on them, and most of the time they age well, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the
Yeah.
second time around. So I'll give you an example. Castaway in Dimension Z.
Right.
Not sure if
Yeah.
I loved that at the time,
Yeah.
but when we went back and revisited it, man, was I a fan.
Yeah, I think getting to a lot of those runs, right? You get to see them all together instead of dribbed out over the period of many, many months. I think it loses a little of the impact that way. But when you read them all straight through, it hits in a very different way. I felt that way about some of the Nick Spencer run as well, and even the Ta-Nehisi
Mm,
Coates run. I think
yeah.
was underappreciated at the time for that reason. But yeah, Castaway and Dimension Z, being able to do that on the podcast over the course of several weeks really gave me a much deeper appreciation. So, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I thank you for, turning me back onto that story.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's underrated.
Yeah.
And then we made a couple of choices. Sometimes when people think of the Roger Stern John Byrne, because it was only 9 issues, and
Mm-hmm.
because there's like a collection out there, I can't remember the name of the collections, God and Men or something. I don't remember, but like it collects like all 9 issues. Well, they're very distinct, different stories. So we actually have it in the bracket as different
Mm-hmm.
stories, right? So there's the um, Blood on the Moors,
Yeah.
right? Which is when the Baron Blood story, right? That was only a couple of issues, but man, was it impactful. People still remember that story, And then there's the Mercenary and the Madmen, right? Where that's with Batroc and um, Mr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so then just 250 by itself. Cap runs for president.
Yeah.
So we do have some stories that are in the bracket that are just one issue.
It's funny because a lot of, and we talked about this before. You have a lot of stories, even from the 70s or 80s, where you have these 1 or 2 issue stories that are self-contained. But in more modern runs, they go on and forever into 8 issues, 10 issues before you get a resolution of a story. And of course, they do it that way because they want to package these things for trade pubs. So it's a lot harder sometimes to you know to really develop appreciation from these arcs, because unless you pick up the trade pub and you read through these things in one fell swoop, like we said, we don't make the impact, and I think that's unfortunate. But there were some interesting ones. The Wade Samney, Home of the Brave,
Mm-hmm.
pub actually has 3 different stories that are one shots, but they're kind of connected. And so I think those are great stories because Cap's trying to figure out what he stands for and what America's like, and he goes
Mm-hmm.
back out on his motorcycle and has these experiences that really kind of encapsulate what the Steve Rogers Captain America is all alike. And I think those are beautiful stories. And there are among some of my favorites.
Yeah. Out of Time,
Out of
Wade
time,
Samney, right? That
right?
was the 698 to 700.
Yeah, that future oriented story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was kind of cool too. And then of course you have Man and Wolf, Bob. I know you're going to vote for that.
Well, I'm not, but I did like Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos, which I don't think is probably going to make our bracket. But that was an interesting. What was that? 4 issues, 4 or 5 issue miniseries written by Stephanie Phillips, and we had
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie on the show to
We
talk
did.
about that. That was a fun little story. So with great art by, I think, Carlos Magno. So
Who do you
good.
think's going to make the final two, if you had a
Ooh,
guess?
if I had to guess, I definitely think it's going to be the Winter Soldier.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
Talk
that,
about impact.
yeah, talk about impact, right?
Yeah.
So, and then, man, maybe the Bloodstone Hunt. That's a fan favorite.
It is a fan favorite.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, Diamondback
Crossbones.
introducing Crossbones,
Yeah.
Baron
So,
Zemo.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And
um,
it's just so fun, you
yeah,
know. And again, we're going with favorite, right? Like so people
yeah,
are going to vote for their favorite. So you're going to have a lot of people with nostalgia
yes,
voting for it. So
yeah,
so everybody check, again, if you're not part of the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. And I'm going to tell you right now, I can't tell you how many people we decline because they don't agree to the group rules or they don't answer the questions. So please, it's real simple. Answer like the 2 questions and then agree to the group rules, and
yeah.
we'll let you in. It's that
That's it.
simple.
That's it.
And you're going to love it because, I mean, we're constantly just talking about fun things that we love. It's a oasis from the negativity out there. And if you do join the group, again, starting this Sunday, we are going to have our kicking it off with our vote. So you can go on there noon Eastern time, and I will have up there um, two stories to vote for. So you pick one, and then the next day at noon, I will announce the winner of the previous day and kick off the next round. So and if you don't have to do it every single day, but we do have some people who set their alarms and
They
they do
do,
it,
yes.
you know, and it's fun. I love hearing people debate like why this is their favorite, and
Yeah,
the
right.
impact it made on them or whatever. And we love the personal stories, and we also love when people start sharing like panels
Yep.
from that comic, like,
I
but
think
look at this panel, like,
we'll get some. That was very common, like when we like favorite artists or
yeah, yeah.
but I or covers, and I think we're going to see a lot of people posting like as you said favorite panels of great cap lines,
Hmm.
right? So or speeches.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking pictures of Diamondback in certain
Yeah, that could be
ways.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
With
yeah.
people asking me to describe it. Yeah, of course.
All right, Bob. Well, that was a lot of fun, kind of going through that. And it's a little bit of a different episode today for our listeners. We hope you just enjoyed Bob and I rattling off and
Hmm.
wrapping cap.
Yeah.
But it was fun to share with you, Bob, and the listeners my OAX experience.
Yeah, I think folks definitely appreciated that, Rick. I know I did. I mean, I haven't had a chance to go. I had some events scheduled that precluded me from driving up there to Orlando. But it sounds like a great play. I want to ask you before we take off, what's the age group that attends OAX? Is there a good spread? Is the hobby alive and multi generational?
That's a great question. I mean, I
What
would.
I guess what I'm saying is, would a young guy like me fit in?
I would say, Bob, we would fit in just fine.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people there in their 40s and 50s. Some people there in their 60s, and then you're going
Yeah,
to have some older. Definitely some people there in their 30s,
yeah,
because they're talking about their small kids and things
right.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So it ranges. And what's funny is too is there's some couples that do go,
yeah,
and then you also have people who like maybe they came with their wife and got there a week earlier, and then they did
yeah.
all the parks, and
Fun.
then
Yeah,
and then the wife like flies out and
yeah. Oh, that's
he
that's
sticks
cool.
around for the
Yeah,
weekend and
yeah,
does this.
yeah,
But there's also been couples there as well.
yeah. Well, cool. Well, I maybe next year we'll give it a shot. Something to put on my
Whatever.
mind.
You know what? I don't even bother asking
I
anymore,
know, I
Bob.
know, I'm a busy guy, Rick. What can I say? I'm busy preparing and researching for the next episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans podcast.
Which we don't know what it
We
is.
don't, and it's 3 days away. So,
Oh no. All right. Well, then, for Bob Lucius, I'm Rick Verbanis. Thank you for listening. And if you don't mind, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you are listening. If you're on YouTube, you know what to do. Smash that thumbs up button. If you're on Apple, please give us a 5-star review. Oh, Bob, maybe we should read the latest 5-star review on Apple.
oh, I would love that. Actually, I think you've been promising me that.
All right. Well, this one we got from Marso 2012. Gives a 5-star review, and the title to the review says, "A fun and informative listen." And they write, "Brings me back to when I was 10, 12 years old. Great fun hanging out with Rick and Bob and rapping Cap. An oasis in the podcast world from the politics and the stress."
Love it. That's what it's all about, right there.
Yep. Thank you, Marso 2012. We appreciate that. And if you are listening on Apple right now, please give us a 5-star review and leave us a comment. We also love seeing your comments on the YouTube and, of course, the Facebook group. So always fun hearing those. Bob, any final comments?
Nope. No, I can't wait till next week, Rick. Whatever the wind brings us, we will be ready.
That's right. All right. So for Bob Lucius, I'm Rick Verbanis, and thank you for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.